All right, we're doing a quick stream here, really quick. We want to go through this. I was looking at various articles to check out here on the Hacker News, and there was one that came up that not everyone knows. If you have stock options, how do they even work, and when do you use them, and why would you need them? There's this nice link here that just kind of came up and kind of Stanford.edu, and it's a nice review on how stock options work. So if you work at a company, you work at you might have options to buy stock or buy shares in the company. They are offered to you at a strike price, and this price is set, and you know what it is, and then you can choose to purchase those shares or not whatsoever. You don't have to. You don't have to do that if you don't want to. You probably, in many scenarios, it's very good, especially if you know that the company has customers and they are making money. Then it's a good idea to buy shares. And so, stock options are. Let's actually walk through this. I want to read through this really quick here to see how does it work? How stock options work? How do they even work? So, employee stock options. I mean, they're straight off. We only have like 2 words here, or well, at least 3 words. We're specifically focusing on employee stock options. Now, of course, in other scenarios, there are other kinds of options that you can sort of purchase, right? So you can be in a scenario where you say, I want to have the option to buy these shares at this price, which you could do, and you can use this as a financial instrument to then potentially gain some gains. But right now we're going to talk about employee stock options. When you join a company, part of your compensation package are stock options. And employee stock option programs are typically authorized by a company's board of directors and have historically been approved by the shareholders. Yeah, that's how it works. That's exactly how it works. And give the company discretion to award options to employees equal to a certain percentage of the company's outstanding shares. Now, that just says that you get a certain number of shares to buy if so you want to, right? That's all that's saying. And it also mentions here that it is typically authorized by the companies. And that's how it works. I don't know of any other way that it could work, but that's how it works. Option give employees the right to buy a certain number of their company shares at a fixed price for a certain period of time, usually 10 years. Well, it's different at every company, and I don't know of anyone that has a fixed number of years. Typically, there might be an expiration date, but that's only if you stay at the company for 10 years, which seems counterintuitive. You stay at the company for 10 years, and then your options expire because you didn't exercise them. But usually options expire after you've left the company. And if you didn't exercise your options and you leave, then they expire, right? That's usually part of the termination clause of the shares. So that price usually, hey, we've got someone, Lorex, you're back. Hey, how's it going? It's hope it's not too late there for you. It's probably late at night. It's probably late over there. But it's great to see you back, and you're awake now. And we're just walking through really quick what it looks like for stock options. I was just walking through these news articles, and this one popped up on the Stanford EDU website, and I was just kind of curious, how do stock options work? When you're an employee at a company, part of your compensation package are stock options. And so that's I'm really excited for that. I'm really excited to sort of walk through that and see how that works. And if there's any things that I wasn't familiar with, I'm actually really excited because I'm pretty sure I'm fully aware of all the features and capabilities of stock options. And I want to find out if there's something I don't know. It's 23:32, so it is very late. It is almost tomorrow for you right now. That is super, super late. And I hope you have the chance to get enough rest that you need, enough sleep. So let's see here. One of the things that's actually found. So usually time period of 10 years. That is, I'm not familiar with a specific deadline like that. Usually it's 10 years is a lot though. Yeah. Oh, so not as in not enough sleep, or not as in everything's fine and you will be sleeping perfectly well and there's enough sleep in your life and everything's good. It's one. It could be either one. That price, usually the market price of the stock on the date of the options are granted, are called the strike price. Yeah, so usually the market price of the stock on the date the options are granted. Yes, okay. There is a price where you have to. It's options are the ability to buy stock at a set price. That's what they are. That does. You haven't. In this case, there's no money exchanged yet as an employee in part of your comp package. It's just that you've been granted the option to purchase the stock at a set price. And the idea is you want to make sure that the stock, once you buy them, that they're at a higher price when you sell them later. You want to buy them and you want to make sure they're higher later so you can make money, right? Like that's the whole point. As part of the compensation. Options usually begin vesting 1 year after and vest fully after 4 years. Yeah, this is what I've seen. This is very common. This is like template level stuff. After 4 years, your options fully vest. So actually, this is actually kind of this vesting concept is a little interesting. So with stock options, you don't get the options right away. You have a document that says that you have a strike price that you can purchase after a set period of time. So it's usually, yeah, interesting. It's not quite. There's gotchas and there's like clauses in there that have restrictions, and they're designed like this on purpose because for retention perspective. So if you join a company and they have stock options, they want to keep you there for as long as possible, and so there's a vesting cliff, usually 4 years, and there are tranches where certain amounts of the stock become available to you to purchase and exercise after the first year and the second year. And there's different vesting schedules, but that's usually how it works. If an employee leaves the company before his or her options vested, they are canceled. Yeah, the options are immediately canceled. But also there's an exercise, and I've heard this as well. If you leave the company and you didn't exercise your options, they also expire, usually after a set time period, several months, for example. Once options are vested, the employee can then exercise, which means you buy them, right? Exercise means you pay the strike price. You purchase from the company the allotted number of shares at the strike price, and then either hold the stock or sell it on the open market. Yeah, I guess it really depends, right? So if you're if the company that you work at has options that you have the ability to buy shares for, and it's a public company, and it's already on the market, then you can sell it on the market. If it's a private company, it's different because there's no market to sell the private shares. So it's more of a holding situation until someone else buys those shares. Let's see here. We got a question. What time is it in America? So for me, it is 2:36 p.m. in the afternoon, which is 14:36. Yeah, 14:36 is the current time. The difference between the strike price and the market price is the shares at the time of the options exercised is the employee's gain. So yeah, that's the delta. The strike price, which is what you pay for it, and the market price is what you can sell for it. So if it's $1, you have to pay $1 for the share, but the market price is $2, then you can sell it for $2, but you bought it for $1. So now that means you made $1. And if you get 100 of them, then you've made $100. So it's like, it seems like a good deal, and it usually is. That's usually the idea. That's the value. When the option strike price exceeds the market price of the stock, the option's technically worthless or underwater. Yeah, because that means you could, well, sort of. It's sort of. Not worthless. Definitely not worthless. Underwater, yes. So say you paid $1, but the market price is 50 cents. Then as long as you're holding those shares, you technically haven't gained or lost any money yet. But if you do choose to sell, you can get half your money back at that point. So it is scary. Yeah. It's a situation. Woo! What? What? Why? What's happening? I don't know what that means. What? Yeah, I assume it's in reaction to the current time, or it could be to the stock options that we're talking about. I don't know. Maybe. Let's see here. When the market price of the stock exceeds the strike price of the vested options, then that means you're in the money. Yeah, that you're making money at that point. So if the strike price is below the market price, you win. Market price above the strike price, you win. When employee exercises an option, the company must issue new shares of stock that can be publicly traded. Well, wait. When an employee exercises an option, the company must issue a new share of stock. So, yes and no. So, say you're at a private company, then technically, once the stock pool for the company is be able to be listed on a public, because you can't just sell private shares immediately, right? So, but technically, even in a private company, when you are granted those shares that you purchased, they can eventually be public traded. So they are legitimate shares, legitimate stock that would be publicly tradable, but they might not be immediately publicly tradable because there's no listing, right? Because there's different exchanges, right? You a whole world of exchanges out there, where you like the NASDAQ or the New York Stock Exchange. These are two completely different exchanges, and you can list shares for sale on either one, and the price can be different on either one, which is interesting, right? One can be higher than the other. While the employee pays the company the strike price for the share, the company's market capitalization grows by the market price of that share. So that's the market cap. And that's based on the volume, the number of shares outstanding times the price of the share. So that's just, there's nothing special about that number. It's just, it tells you, I guess, the valuation of the company. Having more shares outstanding dilutes or reduces earnings per share, and thus the value of shares held by investors who already own the stock. Yeah, so it's more, dilution occurs when, it's the same as inflation. Like when, kind of. It's when more money is printed, that means every dollar that already existed is worth less. It's the same with shares. If you have 100 shares, but then you print 10 more shares, and you can do that. That can happen in a company. You can create more shares. It reduces the value of all the other shares. Just in terms of the market price. So it's possible to print a whole bunch of shares, but the market price is still static. So it's, in that scenario, there's no dilution. So this isn't always true. To forestall dilution, one of two things must happen. Earning must increase to commensurate with the increase of the outstanding shares, or the company must repurchase shares in the open market to reduce the number of outstanding shares. Oh. Not really cool. What? I'm not sure. Yeah. Well, I'm not sure. So, we're just gonna walk through. Yeah. We're just gonna walk through some the rest of this article, and then we'll see. We'll see where we get. One of the things I'm really excited about is I have this updated video editor with the AI. It will capture the videos that we're recording and automatically edit them. And I'm very curious to see how it goes with this video. So this is kind of a test run. We're kind of test running it right now. So we're seeing what it looks like. And oh wow, we're done with the article already. That's it. And there's nothing else to know about stock options. There apparently. That's it. We're done. We did it. Okay, so I'm curious about this is where I found that article. I was just walking through that, but I'm wondering what other articles we want to check out next. Let's see here. Cross-site request forgery. That sounds that sounds like a security thing, doesn't it? Here we go. It's pretty detailed. There's a lot to this. Maybe we can just go through some of this, just a little bit. Let's see, what else do we got here, just in case. So we'll keep that one up. We'll keep that one up. Mesmerized hyperlight kinetic desktop sculpture. What? Hypernoloid. What are we doing here? Ooh, pretty. That's all that. It's a pretty shape. So someone made something out of a shiny metallic-like material that looks very satisfying. Okay, very nice. Hypnoloid, object of sort of the opposite of a spinning top. Interesting. Oh, cool. That's very satisfying to see. I like that. That's pretty nifty. Look at that. Look at it go. It does everything like a top does pretty much. What is it useful for? Is it useful for anything? No. There's no use to this whatsoever other than just nifty. Right? That's all you can say this is worth. It's worth nifty. That's literally it. It's very pretty. It's very pretty. Let's see if we can. So here's the plan. We want to go through at least one more of these articles. Just kind of walk through it to see what the deal is. Gift. Nginx introduces Acme support, which is for certificates, server-side certs, collation playground, type safe Lisp. What else do we got here? Honky Tonk Tokyo. New treatment eliminates cancer. Okay. That sounds pretty cool. Social media probably can't be fixed. Well, I can see that. A is already replacing thousands of jobs per month, report finds. All right. Independent news article. I'm actually kind of curious about this one. All right. So wait. What is hip nothing? What is hip nothing? Well, it sounds like it's nothing, but there's this hip, right? There's extra hip part to it. That's what it sounds like. Let's see here. Okay, this will be our last article for the day, and then we'll go through this. And I'm actually kind of curious to see what the deal is about this, because this is something everyone's worried about. We're all worried about AI replacing thousands of jobs per month. Well, here's the deal. We're nowhere near the end of this, because there are existing technologies today that are not being fully leveraged. AI models are already good enough. And the missing part is the application of those AIs. So anything can be automated already. So this is scary. This is part of the scary part. Artificial intelligence is already placing thousands of jobs each month as the U.S. job market struggles amid global trade and uncertainty, a report has found. Let's see here. We've got Hypno, the thing. I'm sorry, man. I'm Italian. Yeah, no worries. I don't. Yeah, no worries. I'm still not quite sure what the deal is, but we're probably talking about that weird shapy thing that was weird and spinny and silver and metallic and cool looking. I bet that's what I'm assuming. That's what I'm assuming that is. All right, with AI replacing jobs, the outplacement firm changer Gray and Christmas said in a report filed this week that in July alone, the increased adoption of generative AI technologies by private employers led to more than 10,000 jobs lost. So that's already now. That's like already. This has happened right now. The firm stated that AI is one of the top 5 reasons behind job losses. So that's kind of scary. But it makes sense, right? It totally makes sense. Oh, hi, Ahmad. You're a fan of crypto, and I see BTC as a stock market model, 21 million lots with 100 million shares, 4 years incremental vesting credits. See, yeah, all right, so 21 million is a very specific number because that is the total maximum population of Bitcoins that can ever exist is 21 million. I heard that the original wallet is funded with 1 million Bitcoins, and 20 million Bitcoins are available to the market. So you see that BTC as a stock market model. Yeah, I mean, it's exactly the same. If we're thinking about this in terms of shares in like stock options and things like that, it kind of aligns pretty well because it's the same kind, but there's a difference with BTC and Bitcoin. Usually there's inflation that occurs with money, but with Bitcoin it's deflationary because typically we're seeing a reduction, and it's a problem because you can lose Bitcoins and you can never get them back. So there's actually a lot of Bitcoins, and that means the market price will increase. So it's deflationary, which means it increases even more. Yeah, it's interesting. Yes. Gmail user, you sure are not son of, definitely sure we're not son of Mark Zuckerberg. Yeah, of course. Wait, is there like something associated with that in that case? I'm not sure exactly what the deal is with that, but yeah, definitely not. You don't have to worry. That's not the case. Hey, Olivia, it's good to see you. I see you've got your avatar icon looking good. Nice looking book. You're back. Yay, Olivia. That's good to see you. Thank you. I'm happy you're here. Hi, good to see you. All right, we're currently talking about AI and how it's already taking jobs, but we're nowhere near the end yet. We're still at the beginning because AI is it's already good enough to take over most jobs. And see, here's the problem. Not everyone is up to speed with the capabilities that exist today in existing AI models. Even the open source ones can automate basically everything. And it is exciting. I think it's really exciting, but also kind of scary. I think it's kind of scary. Your face. Okay. Okay. There are faces, and people have faces. I have one too, and I'm assuming you're referring to that particular face. But yeah, there is a face. It happens. So we got to this point here. The firm stated that AI is one of the top 5 reasons behind job losses this year, which is right. It's concerning, and we're nowhere near. We are nowhere near the beginning or the end of it. I'll be quiet and listen. You don't have to be quiet. You can chat as much as you want. Anything that you say, we'll immediately pop over and look at that and talk about whatever you're saying. It's going to be a thing. I promise. On Friday, new labor figures revealed that employers only added 73,000 jobs in July, a much worse result than forecasters expected. Companies announced that more than 806,000 job cuts in the private sector through July. Oh, so that's a net reduction by quite a lot. So we only added 73K, but we dropped almost 1 million. Really? The highest number for that period since 2020. So, wow. Okay. The technology industry. Yep. Anything. See, the moment that you put a chat message there, I'm going to zoom right in on it, and we'll chat about it. The technology industry is seeing fiercest cuts. The fiercest cut since with private companies announcing more than 89,000 job cuts and an increase in 36% compared to a year ago. Challenger, Gray, and Christmas found that more than 27,000 job cuts have been directly linked to artificial intelligence since 2023. So that's just over the last couple of years. And we're still at the beginning. We're not done yet. One day my CBS Washington hacked. Yeah, one day my CBS Washington hacked. I want to respond to that, but I'm not exactly sure what I need to respond with. I'm not quite sure on that, but we're getting there. We're seeing that the industry is being reshaped by the advancements of artificial intelligence and the ongoing uncertainty surrounding work visas, which have contributed to the workforce reductions, the firm said. That's part of the picture. The impact of artificial intelligence is the most severe among younger job seekers. Really? With entry-level corporate roles usually available to recent college graduates declining by 15%. So does that mean that college is becoming less valuable these days? So this is what it's saying is like entry-level jobs are becoming harder to get. Over the past year, according to the career platform Handshake, the use of AI in job descriptions is also increased by 400%. Yeah, that is thing. If you're looking at job postings now, they definitely want to see AI on your resume. We are all peasants to these elites, just insignificant cogs to a machinery which can be thrown out and replaced anytime. Yeah, pretty much. If you can be automated away for something that costs 1% of what your salary would be, it's a given. And I know it sounds like it's rough to hear, but it's true. If there's an automation, and it's actually been true throughout all of society, all of humanity, and over the years, when industry automates something, typically jobs will be replaced with that automation. However, there's one thing that isn't always mentioned, is that there is a net increase after a while. It takes a few years. There's a net increase in employment with new kinds of skills and new roles that are required. That even with like the computer and the spreadsheet and the vacuum cleaner and the toaster and all sorts of things. Sorry, bro, I said my CBS was hacked. So that sounds really sad. Especially because you've got the crying icon. You never want to be hacked. That sounds like the worst possible thing. That is a very sad situation. Yeah, one day it's happening. It's already happening now, but it sometimes takes a little while. Artificial intelligence is affecting the job market for younger workers seeking entry-level jobs. And so here we've got like a picture of it looks like someone who's graduated or is in college, and they are looking for a job, and they see on their computer screen something that looks like artificial intelligence of sorts, right? It looks kind of like some AI avatar action happening here. It's in a doom loop of sorts. All right, Gmail user. I have bachelor's degree in computer science engineering, graduated recently after completing 4 years degree, spent ton of money at university fees, and you don't know to code even a single line. How did you do that? How did you do that? Wait. You've got a degree and you did it, and you were able to do it and you had to spend a lot of money for it, right? So I guess that's part of the picture. But you did it and you don't know to code even a single line in any language. This shows the value of college degree today. Yeah. Okay. You're right. So you can be in a situation where you don't learn much at all, but you can still get a degree. And that's a problem because there's a lot of problems. So listen, here, check this out. This is a big deal. We need to talk about this. Because with education, and especially in technology, things change really quickly. Even after you get your degree, even if you did learn to code, it's already slightly outdated. Every single day, new things come out, right? We were talking about this the other day. And so why invest into a college degree, especially in a fast-paced industry where things are rapidly changing? So something where a college degree might make sense is the healthcare and medicine. Medicine is much slower in its paces. So there's also a lot of regulations And, humans aren't evolving quickly enough to make the textbooks change enough. So, healthcare and that kind of thing, like becoming a doctor or nurse, that's probably fine for college. But for computer science, I don't know. It's probably better if you spend your time learning online, learning to code, and then implementing what you've learned directly using a computer. And that would be not only like 100 or 1,000 times cheaper than going to college. You will learn a lot more, and you will have a better experience, and you'll know more. You're not even joking. College just wants money. They do. It's a business. These are private businesses. They have a model where they attract students with fancy giant buildings and these rooms that have expensive equipment that look really appealing, that looks like, oh, you can learn a lot. You can learn a lot on these things. You can, but they want your money. And they're a business, and they're a for-profit business. You went to class only for attendance. They all want money and pass the students and give degree. Yep, you did it. You showed. That's how it works. It totally works that way. And wow, you're proof of it. So it's kind of scary, but you bought into their business, right? You're their customer. AI makes elite great again, not American workers. Yeah, so we're talking about, jobs are getting replaced, but also it's becoming a skill that you need. You need this skill in your day-to-day job. So yeah, it's happening. Just I'm going to double check that I read your statement here to make sure that I've got all the details. AI make elite great again, not American worker. And you've got a question mark face. Yeah. So there used to be, and there still is, a lot of hustle. Like with American culture, their work culture is work hard, work late hours till exhaustion, work to exhaustion, never stop, keep going. Are you comfortable? You're not working hard enough, right? That's like the mentality. Did you work late? Are you waking up early? Did you get everything done? Do you have more energy? Make sure you put it all into work. That's the work culture. That's the work ethic. And I know it's different around the world in different countries where you don't work till exhaustion. There's a double-sided coin to that. One, yeah, working till exhaustion is a problem because that's your life. Work becomes your life, and it's a challenge, maybe to find happiness from that perspective, but it's really rewarding monetarily, at least. And that's maybe why America, in many situations, tends to be ahead, right? America tends to be ahead from a technological perspective and a couple other things because of the work culture, the work ethic. What AI you like the most? In Italy. Oh, it is currently in Italy. It really late. Yeah, it is currently very late in Italy. The AI that I like the most currently, I'm using Claude Code CLI to write all of my things. And so what I did was I updated my video editor to sort of work better for live streams. So I'm currently with live streams focusing on a specific topic, and then I would be recording videos. But instead of, clicking this button down here to start and stop a recording of video, I'm just going to have the AI do it for me. Talk about AI taking away our jobs. Seriously. It's already doing it today. Oh, okay. We've got a little bit more to this article, it looks like. Just a smidge more. There are other reasons for recent job losses. Okay. Gmail user, what have we got? You're literally now... Oh, I'm zooming way in. Gotta zoom in just a smidgen. I don't gotta zoom all the way in there. I'm literally now a skillless youth with no job right now. You're done. Don't know a single alphabet of computer science with already growing AI, which is taking over the jobs, and companies are requiring much more skills. Yeah. Isn't that crazy? This is happening right now. We're in a problem situation where the job market, we saw this article that we're currently reading said 1 million jobs are lost. They were cut, and part of that is to AI, part of that is for skills, and you're right. And if you're an entry level, think of all those jobs that were lost that had work experience. They already had work experience working in the industry. They have. Do they have a better chance? Like if they're going to apply to the next job, if you're side by side with someone else, with someone who's had experience, you put your resume in the pile, they put their resume in the pile. Who's going to get looked at first, right? Someone with experiences, and not necessarily a college degree, which is kind of interesting, right? They're going to look for experience. And so if you're going to spend your time advancing your skills, it makes more sense to do projects in open source and learn online, not necessarily with a college degree. Gmail user, and all I have is a degree in my hand. Yeah, you have a piece of paper. You have a piece of paper in your hand. This piece of paper that says that you have skills, but it doesn't equate to job experience, which is, I would say, far more valuable, because in those kinds of environments, there's more than just, your knowledge of a technical aspect like language, software engineering, architecture, design. There's also collaboration with others, cross-team communication, and having the skill to continuously learn. That's something that you don't necessarily get just from college. 0000. Yeah, that is your midnight. That is the next day for you, Lorex. It's the next day. Which companies won't even pay heed to? Yeah, you're right. The college degree. You were totally right. We were just talking about this. I didn't see what you said before. Yeah, companies, they don't necessarily take much attention to the college degree now, especially because the saturation of applicants is so high. The barrier to entry has exceeded the college degree. It's exceeded it. If you have a college degree, it's not enough. And so no one's even paying attention to it now, right? No one's paying attention to it. There are other reasons for recent job losses, with more than almost 300,000 roles having been terminated following cuts connected to Department of Government Efficiency. Oh, right. Right. The DOGE, Department of Government Efficiency, previously led by Elon Musk, former close ally of President Donald Trump. So, Senior Vice President Andrew Challenger said in a statement, "We're seeing the federal budget cuts implemented by DOGE impact nonprofits and healthcare in addition to the government." So, just with DOGE, like the whole idea with the government efficiency thing was, to cut spending within the government, especially the waste. But now, SVP Andrew Challenger is saying that they're seeing beyond the government a loss because of these cuts. Well, I mean, there are two things side by side, really. I mean, it's hard to really connect the two. You can, because they happened at the same time, but even before DOGE, we were seeing the same kinds of decline. So I don't think it wasn't helping. It's not helping. Amid the rise of costs associated with tariffs, layoffs are also increasing in the retail sector, according to the firm. Through July, retailers announced that more than 80,000 cuts, in an increase close to 250% compared to the previous period last year. Okay. So the rate of job losses has increased by 2.5x. That's a lot. Okay. That maybe there is something there. Now, this, of course, we're talking about AI taking jobs, and we have direct correlation of AI taking jobs, but maybe there's more to it. This direct correlation, potentially there's more. Retailers are being impacted by tariffs, inflation, and ongoing economic uncertainty. It is the worst time right now. Yes, it is scary. The worst time, absolutely. To the next time, I'm not joking. Yep, it is late at night, but also, speaking of time, it can be time of the quarter of the year or, within a decade. this current decade, we are seeing the worst time for jobs right now. Market is declining. It's happening. It's happening. It's really right now. It's happening. There's so many advertisements, I tell you, in these articles. I could probably, there's a reading mode. Is this reading mode? Here we go. Reading mode. Let's see if we can hide some of those advertisements. I should do this more often. Did you know in Chrome there's this feature right here? There's this like reading mode button, and it eliminates all of the advertisements. So let's just use reading mode. I like that a little bit better. All right. Gmail user, would had been better had I took electrical engineering because it's physical labor and it's exciting. And we need humans to build things, right? To connect the dots in the real world. So any software is automatable in the most sense of the thing, but electrical engineering, not only are those salaries looking really good right now, like you know what? It's not too late. You can get started now. Like you don't even need a full college degree. You could probably get just some certificates and then do some self-training. And that might be a good approach for the next bet. Or probably commerce. Yes, economy. There's stats. There's a lot of things that can go in, a lot of math and a lot of spreadsheets where employment is still pretty high. There is going to be a lot more automation there, of course. In these AIs that exist today, they can automate basically all of these things. It's just taking a lot of time for people to connect the dots. And here, the scary thing is that just something for you to consider. The AI models, they don't have to get better. They're already good enough to fully automate these roles. And I could show you, and actually probably that'll be one of the streams that we do. I'll show you exactly how to fully automate someone's role away using these AIs. And just to give you a preview of exactly what I'm talking about, it's called tool calling, tool use, function calling. These AIs have the ability to understand as well as a human, actually better than humans now. They're beating humans on these benchmarks. They can then respond to an automated system in the exact format that's necessary to automate someone's job away. Just letting you know. Like, if you're looking to really look into like what that next role is, electrical engineering makes a lot more sense from that perspective, because it's still a while before things are automated. Though we are getting robots. Have you seen those robots? They're doing some pretty fun things these days. They dance around and they're inspiring and scary. These robots. All right. See, where did we leave off? Let me double check here. There are roles exhibiting change in AI. Almost retailers are being impacted by tariffs. Yep. Okay. White collar workers are among those at the highest risk. We were just talking about that. Gmail user, you're saying electrical engineering, right? Which is a physical, I guess you call it a blue collar job, but white collar jobs, it's like what we're doing right now. We're sitting at the computer. This is a white collar scenario. White collar is sitting at your desk with keyboard in hand and you're doing something. These are the ones that are the highest risk, which means me, right? Doesn't that mean me? That count? I count there. I'm at risk here. Lorex, it says you're going to sleep. Time for sleep. Yeah, because it's past. It's the next day for you, so it's time to go to sleep. Don't skip out on sleep. It's really important. It makes your life so much better. Get enough sleep. Okay, cool. It was good to see you. I'm really happy that you stopped by. It was really great, and enjoyed your time here. Thank you for stopping in, and get some sleep. Hope you sleep well. Enjoy the sleep. We're almost done with this article. Let me see here. But Challenger said earlier last month that there are roles that can be significantly changed by AI right now, at this very moment, but not by talking to too many HR leaders who say AI is replacing jobs. So there are roles that are significantly changed by AI right now. It totally makes sense, especially in HR. We are talking about submitting your resume. When you do that, typically the frontline evaluator is going to be an AI robot. They're going to look at your resume and they're going to make sure all the check marks are there. And then that will filter through. So that is a big change in the industry right now at this very moment. Gmail user, you are not much at risk. You have a shining resume of years of work experience. I'm an unemployed fresher with 0 years of work experience. Yeah, okay. So I can't say, yes, I can't disagree with you. But also I don't want to dissuade you from motivation. Like, there are opportunities. There are still entry-level roles, especially if you add in the most necessary recent skills of generative coding or other kinds of AI tools onto your resume. Plus, you live in a Western first world developed country. Yeah. I do. Plus, you live. Okay. Yeah. USA, a Western first world developed country. It is kind of interesting. There is a lot of shining, like, in aspiration that you can hear and there's a great things about America, and most of the things that you hear are true in terms of opportunity, but in terms of like comfort and what you expect as a lifestyle, most of the world has adopted these things. There's still grocery store technologies with food preservation. You get restaurants and fast foods and other kinds of luxuries. These things exist everywhere now. So lifestyle, it's not necessarily any much better in America from a comfort perspective, because those things exist everywhere. Though the one thing that is different, I would say, is business and opportunity. By far, there are some phenomenal. You can start businesses and start making money right away, and that's not possible in other country in some other countries, but in America it is. So that's a Gmail user. That's one other thing that you can consider. A lot of people, go into startups. They start businesses, and you can be very successful, like immensely successful. And so much so that it doesn't make sense to be an employee at another company. It makes more sense to start a business. And you can be very successful. Though, don't let me dissuade you too much on the stats on that, because there's a problem. Let me show you what the problem is. Here, I'm going to show you one thing with that. Even in America, success rate of starting a business. All right, look at this. We're going to get success rate of starting a business. We're going to get some stats here. We're going to get some numbers. We're going to zoom in. We're going to zoom in on this. This is humbling and scary. You got to be careful. Though there are great opportunities, there's also a lot of risk. The success rate of starting a business varies, but generally around 20% of new businesses fail within the first year. So that's 1 in 5 businesses just immediately within the first year. Half, they fail after 5 years. After 5 years, they fail. And 65% fail in 10 years. So there's varying levels. In terms of the idea of considering success, these numbers are actually a lot higher. Here's what I'm looking at. Some sources suggest a 90% failure rate for startups. It's actually worse. I think it's closer to like 98%. Because you look at the business registry data, and you look at the businesses that have started in the business registries, and then you look them up a year later, they're gone. They're gone. There's so many businesses that fail. Yeah. Gmail user. Here, 78% of startups fail. Yeah. The problem is it costs money, because you need to acquire streams of revenue for the business. And that's usually by marketing, sales, and outreach, which costs a lot of time and investment upfront in order to begin getting those streams of revenue. And many businesses have these really cool ideas that don't even have revenue starting in it at the get-go. They have no idea on how they're going to make money. And that's a problem. Or they're a brick and mortar that has tight margins and they overreached or they overspent and they go underwater and they can't escape. So it's very dangerous. But really, if you win big though, because once you get past that underwater, you can shoot straight off to the moon. So it's really worth it. Okay, we're getting close. In June, Amazon CEO Andy Jassy said, AI reduces our total corporate workforce as we get efficiency gains. That's right. I mean, they're already doing it. It already happened. This was in June. They did it. They did what they said they were going to do. And you know what's scary is I actually happen to know one person in particular that was affected by this. Okay, Gmail user, you have no money for a startup, have no skills for startup commerce, just want a job as an employee. See, here's the deal though. Here's the deal. All right, listen to this. Check this out. This might blow your mind. Everyone who you don't need those skills. You actually don't. You will acquire those skills when you need them. That's the deal. The scary part is you see that you have an objective to build a business, but you don't have the skills to accomplish that goal. No one does. That's the secret. That's the truth. That's the sort of scary secret behind it. So this is good news for you. Because that's part of just getting your foot. That's just getting started. Just getting started. The first part of that is you have to just go. Start now. Make it happen. Parents won't give me a single cent for a startup. They already bashed me for wasting the money on university fees, which gave me no job or skills. I mean, let's think about that for a second. I mean, even my parents, they still think college is worth it. So you can, I guess, there is some social, expectation that college is just the next step, and that's still there. Though I would say it's even more so today, less necessary than it's ever been. Unless you're going to a very specific college that has a large variety of knowledge and skills that you can gain there that you can't get in any other college. And those colleges are rare, but they exist, and you can get some benefit from those. But yeah, that's sad. If your parents are already they're bashing you for wasting your money on university, I mean, that's sad because, I mean, it's still a degree. But at the same time, I mean, it's less valuable these days. Here we go. Last two paragraphs. Last month, the Wall Street Journal reported that the Ford CEO, Jimmy Farley, would replace literally half of all white-collar workers in the U.S. Oh. So, wasn't it Mark Benioff? Who's the CEO of Salesforce? Salesforce said the same thing. Salesforce was actually ahead of the curve on AI. They started investing there way before any of the other major businesses. Although Google is number one by far. But from a SaaS perspective, Salesforce was number one. They started there. And they've been touting the same message, and they've been proving it. And so this happened. The Wall Street Journal reported, yeah, it's happening. It's almost there. We're almost there. It's happening. All right, we're almost done here. Okay, here we go. But experts argue that AI is currently affecting the job market in roundabout ways. Yeah. So, okay, I'm really glad they were talking about this. Here's why. Because there are the jobs that they directly correlated to AI that were lost, right? Jobs that were cut were a small percentage of, so was it 30,000 jobs directly linked out of 1 million jobs? But roundabout ways, which allow us to probably associate even more roles that are being affected by AI today, such as many companies that are under intense pressure to cut costs because of the uncertain economic climate pushed by Trump's tariff policies and concerns about increasing inflation. As such, some companies are spending money on AI software instead of hiring new staff. Well, I can say that's kind of true. Like even at PubNub, for example, at PubNub, we have sort of this leaderboard challenge for our employees and our team who can use the most AI. So we've purchased different AI tools, and everyone has how much they're using it and how much they're spending on it. Whoever is at the top wins. So I guess we're kind of seeing that as well at PubNub too. So where are we at? We're at the end of the article. We're almost done here. Recommended. The CEO of Josh Company Workforce Consultancy. Okay. So we have a couple of statements here. We got a couple of statements. The Josh Burson Company, which is a workforce consultancy. So I guess they do contract work and things like that. Josh Burson told NBC News there's basically a blanket check right now to go out and buy these AI tools. Yeah, there is. That's what we're doing too. It's kind of a blank check scenario because I've seen it firsthand how efficient everyone can be with AI. Hey Olivia, how's it going? Good to see you. Happy you're here. We're at the end of this article. We're nearly done. We have one more quote to go. Here's the last quote. This is the last quote of the article. What are we saying here? Then they go out and say, as far as headcount, no more hiring. Just stop. So that immediately freezes the job market. Oh no. Gmail user. We were just talking about how hard it is to get a job. It's going to be really hard to get a job if there's not even hiring at all, if there's no hiring happening. Doesn't that sound like it's a little smidgen more difficult? We're talking about there was a chance before, there's no longer a chance now. There's no chance. It's not happening. There's no way we have any opportunity now. It's just gone. Wow, that was a fun article. That's fun. AI is already replacing thousands of jobs, but it's more than we even think it is. That's crazy. So we got through a couple articles. We talked about AI, and we talked about, what else did we talk? Oh, how stock options work. So we learned about stock options, which there was nothing really surprising or new, just some things that I disagree with or things that I haven't seen as much. But otherwise, this Stanford EDU article makes a lot of sense. But yeah, we did it. We've got through the articles. So that'll conclude here this stream. We're gonna head off now. We're gonna head out, and maybe we'll come back a little bit later. Got to get some work done, but I might come back a little bit later and go through one of the projects that we're working on, which is talking about AI, right? Even talking about AI replacing our jobs. I built an AI tool that automatically edits videos and uploads them to YouTube. So that's kind of like, doesn't that take away the job of the video editor? Now, I don't know if what if it's like 20, it's maybe 80% as good as a human. Yeah, Gmail user, it's a problem. Like with the job market, I'm just zooming in like crazy here. With the job market closing jobs, like if you thought it was already hard, but if they're saying no more hiring and just spend on AI, now that's a challenge. That makes things hard. So we're gonna wrap up here. We win. We finished the stream, and we got through the articles. And I'm going to be using my AI tool once this video uploads to YouTube, and I can download it. I will run it through the AI algorithm to edit it, and I'm really excited to give it a try. I think it's just been updated here. I'm zooming in all the way. I'm just making it. All right, so yep. But even if there are some meager openings, I definitely don't stand a chance. Yeah, well, don't give up. It's a numbers game. Here's where there's opportunity. They're looking to hire, but those more senior roles that have experience are expecting and kind of need a very high salary. And where you can get your foot in the door, this is what I did too. This is what I did. When you look for a role and when you go through an interview, you can set your salary expectation with the employer. You can, prove your skills and set your salary expectation. You can just undercut everyone, right? You can just say, "Hey, I'll start at half salary and then just, bump me up every year until, I meet the expectations and I'm delivering value to the company." That's one thing you can do. That's one cool thing you can do. You can just undercut everyone from a salary perspective. I mean, you can give it a shot. It worked for me because this was a few years ago, a few thousand years ago. It worked. I was able to beat out, and I was basically I didn't even have college. This was like before college. I was like not even out of high school, and I was able to beat, just because of the internet and teaching myself how to code. I was able to beat everyone and get hired because I just had such a low salary expectation. Mostly, I was living at home. I was living with my parents, but I didn't need a high salary. But I had these skills, and I won. So that's something that you can do. You can do my strategy. It works. Time is bleak for you. It is, but guess what? There's still opportunity. You have to push. Check this out. This is a phrase that I used to use a lot. You're guaranteed failure if you never try. It's 100% guaranteed failure if you don't try. If you make no decision and you stay status quo, it's guaranteed failure. So technically right now, failure, yes, 100% chance. But if you give it a try, you'll increase your chances to better than a guaranteed failure, which is still a chance. My parents would probably throw me out of home. Oh, that's well. I mean, I guess it's different for everyone. But I was still pretty young when I was doing this, like 16, 17. So I was just really ambitious. But for your incompetence, they would throw you out for your incompetence. I mean, you got to give you a chance at least. So you're 23, soon 24, with no experience. Most of your peers already got a job. You don't have to be the last one. There's still a chance. You can still undercut all other people, right? You can directly outreach to say, "Hey, I know you've got salary expectations and you're looking for a certain